I think it's time to move. Welcome back, everyone. And probably time to sleep. So, welcome back to All the Mods 10. In the last episode, which was a long one, we went through and gathered some resources, set up some power, and some initial things to get us stuff like this Paxel. I'm still working on the armor, but I don't want to settle into this airship as a permanent base. I want to start building over here. So in the next few chapters, we are going to start the process of building up a permanent base. Now, as I've flown around and looked at different things, I've noticed this little shelf down here, and I think that's a great place to start. A little landing pad here, and our main thoroughfare being through the center, with access inside and up into a tower. Kind of sounds pretty cool. Plus, over here is just a cool spot. Good views. It feels awesome. So I have a few things on my list. First, I obviously want to build this base, but to do some of that, I would like some building gadgets just for, making things. And as such, one of these at least requires some Allthemodium. Now it would be pretty nice to have some Allthemodium armor as well. That means I have to go down to the deep dark and get myself some Allthemodium and then maybe go to the mining dimension. As a part of all of that, don't want to turn off my jetpack here. As part of that, we'll see how I go in gathering gear. Maybe, just maybe, I might be able to take on the dragon too. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of progress. So, take on the dragon, get out to the end and gather some of the goodies out there. Once I have myself set up with some armor, tools, and a base over here, that's when we can start working on some automation. I'm going to try and get into the bees this time. In my All the Mods 8 playthrough, I went the mystical agriculture route, but this time I think I want to go the productive bees. It's something I've never tried before, and I think it could be pretty fun. Burn. On top of that, we have the Apotheosis spawners, and I managed to get some DNA for a cave creeper and for a witch. Oh yeah, I was looking at ranged weapons to see if I could get anything. Taking on the dragon without a bow is a bit of an ask. But if by the end of this episode, or these next few chapters, I have myself the startings of a base that should be a permanent one, and some solid automation going, at least on the Apotheosis side of things, as well as an initial start on bees, gathering some of the stuff, working on the DNA or whatever it is. I really have only watched a couple of videos, so I'm going to have to work my way through it and see if I can make it all happen properly. But if I reach that point, I think I'll be happy. So there's nothing to it really, but to get started. Now, while I am quite fine using this jetpack consistently with just these three, I think it would be smart, until I can get into something like power or some other form of power generation, I think it would be smart for me to just make a couple more of those windmills. Thankfully, a lot of those resources I have plenty of, and it's really not that hard to make a few more. So maybe I'll make 3 more, double my power output. Just need a couple more of these. I'm not even going to bother breaking that down into the dust because we will have plenty of this. And so 3 more of those will take our power output significantly higher. I'm just going to put them this way. Yeah. That way we have 285.6 times 6, which is a little over 1,700. Cool. That should keep us going. Especially with that 25 million power block. Wonderful. Now, I think a compass, one of these explorers ones, or was it nature's? Explorer finds structures, nature finds biomes. And the nature's a little bit easier. Did I find? I did. I found one of those in my travels, some wood of any form, and some saplings. Easy. Wonderful. Oh, by the way, I realized that there's these construction sticks, which we might use for building as well. It's similar to the construction ones that were in ATM10, and so I'll probably work my way up those and try them out. For now though, that does not need to come along on my journey. Now, it wouldn't be hard for me to take an infinity book, and I've got power 2. Oh, endless quiver. That's even better. that has power 3. Or even try and get myself 30 levels and go over to the tower and use that enchanting table. But yeah, we'll keep that in here and come back down the line. At least we know we can teleport back at any time. So if I'm searching for a deep dark like this, there is one that way. Cool. In fact, I reckon it's underneath the mountains just over yonder. Now, because we have this, in fact, that's ready for upgrade. That removes or reduces the effectiveness of blindness and darkness by 47%. Make that 52. This could be really helpful when taking on a warden. I also did switch to this universal attractor. It's now set for 6 blocks, and if I hold Alt and scroll, I can click through different options. One brings things closer, one pushes them away. In fact, I haven't tried that out, but let's see. Yeah, it pushes items away from me, which is cool. And that turns it off. Very easy to switch between. So I like the idea of keeping that. Now, let's see if we can find a warden. I'm aware that it is exceptionally dangerous going in with a couple of pieces of unenchanted diamond armor and a Paxel. But hopefully with the maneuverability, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Yeah, it's literally underneath these mountains. Okay, can I get down there easily? Wow, what a good spot. Ah, rainbows. Let's see. With one of these, we may as well just continue down that line. Maybe we don't continue down that line. See if I can find my way down without hitting more water. And if we look at the map, which map? J maybe? Oh, that's possibly the city there. Okay, let's take ourselves all the way down here. Oh, look at that again. Oh yeah, that's it. This map is a little different than I'm used to. Maybe it's an updated version. Cave layers. But that's a city. Let's change this to... Actually, no, the small tunnel works. I just got to make my way through like this. Some diamonds for my troubles. And hopefully we survive the warden. Now, I'm aware that this eternal stake here has a bit of a cooldown. So I think at some point I might duck back over and set my backpack up to automatically eat the ham as well. And I think you need to put in all the different versions of the ham in here for it to work. But we'll try that out, because if we're taking on a warden, it could be very quickly needed. I think I need to go up a little bit. Ah, yeah, I just need to go up a little bit. Ugh. Okay, we're creeping. Now, I do have my netherite hoe. I'm just going to use that to make sure that I grab things and stop them from finding my position. That's gold. We need to keep an eye out for some aldermodium in the walls. Now, from my understanding, if we go over to quests, oh, that's right, construction ones. I'll leave that one. If we jump over here, we go to an ancient city. Oh, it gives us some wool. That's nice. And we're looking for some aldermodium. Now, we need netherite, which I have, and I'm not sure if it says it in here, but if we go over to this one, it says it will always spawn air exposed. So we should be able to find it like that. Okay. Perfect. Oh, shush. Hey, that does help a little bit. I'm not completely blinded. Ugh. So that's nice. Ah, look at you. And we got 2. Aha. I would like to find a couple more if I can. Let's see. Does moving around... Okay, good to know. The jetpack does not trigger the skulk sensors. Very good to know. That means that I can go around and get these guys, hopefully without summoning a warden. Yeah. Whew. Also means that I can float around and grab these. Oh, unfortunate. Where was that? What? Where? Sneaky somewhere. Okay, we'll just have to be a little more careful. Is that some more? Ooh, let's check. Ah, it's gold. What about you? Oh, let's make sure we get rid of this first. Ah, it's gold. Ooh, even though I'm this maneuverable and it is infinitely easier than vanilla, it's still scary. Those wardens creep me out. But echo shards are very handy. Yeah, perfect. A lot of these I'm not that interested in yet, but I do know that I can come back here if I need to. The skulk sense is nice. Swift sneak, I'd rather take a 3. So I'm going to avoid filling myself up with too much. Oh, this is where the wool is very handy. I can hopefully block it all off. Any more secrets around here? Oh, yeah, there's one there. Let me see if I can break them. Ah, phew. Nice. Ugh. Teleportation, swift sneak 3. Now we're talking. Ooh, cool. I will take those over what I'm wearing. Oh, shush. Another warden upgrade is nice. I like that they keep providing these night vision goggles. Thankfully, I've upped mine a few times before coming in here. And I should just put a bunch of this stuff away. Make some room. Another enchanted golden apple. Cool. Oh. Or is that just gold? Ah. So tricksy. Ooh. Or is that just gold? It is. Oh, man. It keeps getting me so good. That's dangerous over there. That's gold. More echo shards. Very nice. When it says always exposed to air, does that include with the skulk over top of it? Oh, shush. I don't like that. Oh, man. I think one more and that will end up summoning a warden. Ah, well. Gotta risk it for the biscuit. Another swift sneak 3. Cool. That's gold. Oh. That's dangerous. Do not activate. Alright, I know there's a lot of chests around here. Yes, I just wanted one more. That's all I wanted. Maybe I need a stand. 3 I can work with. Now, I can just straight up double it with the ore hammers. What about enrichment? Turns 3 into 4. That's not as good. 3 into 8 through chemicals, but I'm not set up for that yet. Purification also. I really think my best bet right now is probably just doubling it with my little ore hammers. So it could be nice to just get 1 or 2 more pieces if they are around. All right, let me do a little bit more exploring and see. Yeah, perfect. 2 pieces. We have 3. Come on, Fortune 3. Work with me here. We now have 7. Oh, yeah. That is great. Is that? That's another piece? That's another 2 pieces. Wow. I'd given up. And now I'm finding all of it. Wait, is that? Yeah. 12. Is there more hidden around here somewhere? Maybe. Yeah. Is that more? It is. 16. I feel like I'm dialing in my eyes, starting to notice it, apart from the gold. 16 allthemodium though. That's great. That doubles to 32. That will well and truly get us started. Okay, how about I leave it there? I'll grab one of these waystones, plop it down here and call it a deep dark. And we don't actually have one at our home base yet, but once I've built something permanent, we'll put one in there too. For now, home it is. Amazing. So if we pop up here, no, here, there we go. 16 pieces of allthemodium ore, turns into 32 pieces of dust. Oh, that is a fantastic start. Oh my goodness. This, yeah, I was about to say, this should give us some quests. We even got a spare piece. And we can make a teleporting pad. Now, this is something that I do need to have a look for. Another item that can only be found in the ancient cities is an Aldemodium smithing template. To get it, you need to brush suspicious clay. You can find it on the floors. Oh, okay. A little bit different to when I played in All the Mods 8. There's some additions. I kind of like that it's a little bit of a threshold to upgrading just by having the smithing templates. It does add another layer and not make it super easy. But yeah, we have some options with this Aldemodium. Advanced pattern provider from an advanced AE. Aldemodium jetpack. I wonder if that one is the one that doesn't descend. Oh, it shows the fuel usage per tick. Hold on. If I look at that, right. The Emerald Jetpack uses 900 FE per tick, which is why when we were using it before, and this with just the 3 was providing like 860 or something like that, we essentially never ran out. Now that this is providing nearly 1,800 or 1,700, we know for a fact that I will never run out if I'm just using this Emerald Jetpack. Good to know. Very cool. So I guess I'm making myself a brush, or tell me I have a feather. Feather? I guess I better go find a chicken. Look out, chickens. Please. So a piece of copper, a piece of that. That makes us a brush. And if we just go back, I'll look for some of this suspicious, what was it? Clay? Yeah, suspicious clay. Okay. Another I spy. Oh, like that. Now, that's not how you do it. Oh no. It must be right click. Let's try that again. Oh, I hope that wasn't the one. Hey. Look at us. Now, I can use some of this netherite that I have to double that, but I'm going to have a little fly around and see if I can get some more for free. I really don't have that much netherite, so the more that we can find doing this, the better. I will report back. Uh-oh. I think I lucked out, and thankfully that didn't summon a warden. Oh, shush. Well, I'm going to just stay quiet over here, but also trying to remember where that piece of suspicious clay was. I got you in my sights. Oh, I think he's gone. Didn't hear it leave, but I can't see it anywhere. Thankfully, I spotted this while I was moving. Oh, okay. Give me another one. Yeah. That's 2. And I don't think, well, look. Yeah, look, there is more. Never mind. Spoke too soon. It seems like it might be a given chance. It's pretty standard to find them in there. That is great. I am still going to do 1 or 2 more little sweeps and see if I can find some more hidden underneath this skulk. But if not, 3 is a fantastic start. Wonderful. Oh, I already got that one. Yep. Pretty sure it was just those 3. Well, 4 if you count the one that I accidentally destroyed. So, I've got 3 Aldemodium smithing templates, which is lovely. I've probably got enough of the netherite to duplicate a couple if I wanted to. I've got plenty of Aldemodium here, and that can be used for various things. Oh, some of them more expensive than others, but it does mean I can make this building gadget. That's great. The teleporting pad though, that should be interesting. why not? We'll just put it down here for now. So if I shift right click and go through, wow, blankness. And I am just going to pop down a waystone facing north and call this mining dimension. Wonderful. Now I know that if I want to get myself some more allthemodium, I can just dig down to, I think it's deep slate layer. Oh, there's probably information here. Mining dimension, you can use those. Yeah, I recommend upgrading your pickaxe so you can mine vibranium. Ah, yeah, of course. Oh, and I get a free one from this. Nice. If we use it in the nether, it will take us to the other, which is obviously something that is on my list. And then there's vibranium, and then there's unobtainium, and there's bits and pieces, and yeah, an allthemodium alloy paxel would be nice. For now, though, I think we'll just leave it around there. Mining dimension, fortune, and quarried. Before, quarries in the mining dimension used to mine everything but leave allthemodium ore. Now it will mine allthemodium but void the drops. Might want to be careful with your quarries now. Ah, we recommend mining with the ore-side potion if you're looking strictly for allthemodium. Hey, they gave us some. Very nice. I will hold on to that because I'm not necessarily looking to get more right now. In fact, I'm going to put away some of these very important ones. Swift Sneak, Echo Shards, which can be used for a bunch of fancy things. Yeah. Even spawning modification. What is echoing? Oh, you can get extra loot. Good to know. But they can stay in there for now, as well as these things, because it's time to go to the end. I think my best bet is to quickly go, just defeat the dragon, casually, make that happen, and then I should have enough things under my belt to get started on a building project. I know that I can make a building gadget using what I have, and I've got enough there to upgrade some armor. Obviously, I just need to create that armor, but going to the end and beating the dragon will actually give me a nice little boost in XP, and that'll be handy for enchanting or even just going through the process of making up some very basic things. So, while I don't have a structure compass, I do have a good old-fashioned Eye of Ender. Hopefully, that points me in the right direction. It really might not, but we'll see. Because sometimes the modded structures... Where'd you go? Ah, that way. Oh, and it broke. Because the modded structures sometimes don't show up as what we consider a end portal, I might be out of luck. And what did it require again? A recovery compass? Ooh, I didn't quite get enough echoing shards for that. Enderium? Yeah, we're just going to have to try and find it the good old-fashioned way. Ooh, boats. That's very cool looking too. Super cool. What does this one spawn? Zombies. But I will quickly just check in this tower to see if there's any nice books. Fortune 3 again, Feather Falling 4 again, Knockback, Frostwalker, Capacity, Smite. Okay, couple of nice ones. These could be handy. That's always nice. Yeah. Oh, another thing that I forgot to mention earlier that I do want to get into is making this infusion pylon and setting myself up with some potions, but we'll do that once I'm fully situated in a new base. For now, another one of these. Oh, use the correct bit. Silk Touch deactivated. Silk Touch enabled. Oops. But I've got two of them now. Cursed bed. Okay, let's see if we can find ourselves an end portal. This could take a little while. Probably just need a couple more of these. Yeah, now, was I on the right path? Where did that go? Over there. Okay. Ooh. Now, although it might not seem super important, I do know that I'm going to want a decent little supply of Hearts of the Sea. And for now, it's not that easy for me to actually get them. So doing it the old-fashioned way and getting a buried treasure map is actually not a bad way to go about it. Oh, feathers. So while I'm flying around, I may as well grab those. Okay, I'm a little bit lost again. This way? Let's throw one more. Oh, over here. Okay. So if that, from over there it was pointing this way and from here it's pointing that way, I guess somewhere over here in the ocean. Let's go a little bit like here. Back that way. Okay. Where are they going? Oh, into there. Let's go diving. See if we can find it. I'll quickly just remove that. Ah. More water. Come on. Oof. If I have a look at my map, show caves. Yeah. Where am I? Here? That looks like a trial chamber. That looks like something. Let's just continue down here. This could be what we're after. Okay. Yep. Look at us. Look at us. Now, I'm really not going to bother too much with exploring and looting all of this either. I'm at the point where what I'm more after is making my way to a certain point of progression so that I can have some fun building. I know in my ATM8 playthrough, I definitely took things slowly, made the most of learning a bunch of things, but I think what I'm after in this one is far more along the lines of getting to the fun, crazy stuff. So let's see if we can find our way through this. Silverfish. That's a good sign. Skeleton with a sword. Now, if we look at our map here, it's not that easy to tell. Vertical chunk. 1, 2. That's it over there, isn't it? And I'm over here. So I'm just going to head this direction. Okay, you guys fight it out. Looks like I'm going over here. Like this. I'm a little bit beside it. That's more like it. Cross here. Round this corner. Past these guys. And yeah. Cool. Progress. Quick progress. Oh, junk. Lots of junk. Now, I have 6 ender pearls. That is not enough for this. I now have to go find myself enough to get into the end. Okay. I guess what I'll do is grab my second to last one of these, plonk it here, and we'll head back home. Hopefully from there, I can find myself some more endermen, probably by using this night to my advantage. Yeah. Finding all these guys? Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. I'm so glad for this muffler. Entity, Enderman, Death. You don't want to turn that right down. I honestly find that one of the worst sounds in Minecraft. Ender Eye Death, Ender Eye Launch. No, that should be fine. Okay, let's see if that makes it better. Yes, far more quiet. And we got 10. 10 plus 3. Okay. We can do it. A handful of those. I really only need to make 9. So let's not waste our ender pearls. I guess I clean things up a little bit and then we just take on the dragon. Let's see if we can do it. No prep, no armor, nothing. Just a netherite paxel, some random pieces, and a jetpack. I have faith. Alright, let's just temporarily put down this so I can head back to the end gateway. We'll grab out the remaining Eyes of Ender since this was completely empty. Oh, of course I'm picking up the things I don't want to. And let's see what happens. I realize now, probably too late, I have no way to make projectiles. This'll be fine. Huh. There's no dragon. I have a bad feeling about this. is this going to be one of those times where the dragon is a lot harder than vanilla? That's really cool, but terrifying. Okay. Hopefully it's fine. Now, I'm going to try... Yes, I can just stay low enough to handle those explosions. This might be alright. It might not be like a crazy high-powered dragon. It's just a cool arena. The way that these towers disappear like that, or change shape, super cool. Let's see if I can break this. Now, the armor seems to be holding up just fine. Ow. Oh. Phew. Look at that. Now, I probably should have bought some stuff to get some dragon breath, but we can always resummon it again later. Ouch. That was close. I'm just going to pop one of these to add a little bit of saturation and resistance and stuff. But yeah, I definitely am going into this a little gung-ho. Not really taking the time to think about all the preparation that I should be doing. I kind of just want to get out to the end and find some cool stuff. Okay, last one of these. And now, dragon should be toast. I wonder if I teleport home, will that cancel the fight? Or will the dragon, will she start coming after me? I don't want to risk it. Or, yeah, no. Maybe I'll do it real quick. Is that silly? I just want those glass bottles, like these. And I think I put a couple more away in here. That's fine. Let's head back. She's still there. Okay. Now, at least I can grab some of that dragon breath. Ow. Give me that. Oh, it disappeared. Can I have some of that, please? Oh, so loud. Perfect. Couple of hits. Ow. This is really quite trivial. It's I know there's definitely some much harder bosses in this mod pack and something that we might take on in future. But yeah, for now, even at the state that we're in with a couple of pieces of diamond armor, I am so fine. Fine enough to grab a little bit of this and another couple of hits and she'll be gone. Okay, one more landing and we'll be done. Here we go. We did it. We beat the game. Not the mod pack, but vanilla Minecraft at least. Oh yeah, give me all of that. All of that. Give me all of it. Now, if I was smart, I might have gone ahead and grabbed like a hostile neural network thing and tried to get some information, some DNA off of the dragon. But like I said, it's not that hard to resummon. So we can do that in future. This is just a nice little stepping stone to go a little bit further in the mod pack and get ourselves some better gear by doing some end rating, picking up what XP I can as well, which is all going into here. Very helpful. Now, where did you go? I need to get out one of these and let's do it the old-fashioned way with a torch. Perfect. I'm going to be able to use that very easily to make a dragon egg every 15 seconds with an extractor. That's very handy. And roll the credits. Yeah. Wow. It's zoom it. Yeah, okay. We've seen this before. All right. So, in a quite short amount of time, oh wow, it gives you multiple different kinds. In a fairly short amount of time, we have gone to a deep dark, gotten ourselves all the modium, found ourselves a stronghold, and beaten the dragon. Because that's really not important for me. I want to build and maybe do a little bit of end rating, but mostly build. And I'm going to do this building on a live stream. So one live stream later, we have a new base location. Oh my goodness. I'll be honest. That wasn't one live stream. There was two, and then several hours of my own time. But I am happy with this now. I've created a little spot in here that fits the vibe I'm going for. We did spend a long time on some live streams going through and setting up these curves, trying out different ideas. I made these trees, and I'm going for something that I have coined Druidic tech, as in the infrastructure, the architecture is very Druidic magic nature based. But we're obviously going to have a lot of tech mods going on around this area. Now through here I have put in a feral flare lantern underneath that square that is slowly lighting this place up, and it will keep it fairly nice and bright, as well as a mega torch to stop any spawns. Because although we have this night vision goggles on, yeah, you can see it's a little bit dark without them. So we'll keep that on. But this section through here is where I'm going to start to create the central thoroughfare and usable location of my base. I think what I'm going to do is grab the little waystone up on the top of there and bring it down to this little spot just here. From there, when we teleport in, we have access. Oh yeah, I was really happy with that. There's still some details that I want to add. Obviously, I've started going through and just naturalizing the texture of the ceiling, creating it back into a little bit of a mossy stone look. And I have created a little bit of an oval section in the ceiling here, just in case I turn off my hover. Hold on, I gotta crank that up. Turn off my hover and just want to bounce around. It just stops me from hitting my head on the ceiling as much. But if we come over here, have a waystone, and we come into the base, we're going to have access to a few different things. Now, some of you may have noticed already, but yeah. During the live stream, I made a couple of decisions. One of those was using my Aldermodium to upgrade my jetpack. With the Aldermodium jetpack, I no longer sink, and so I could actually hover and use things and build things without worrying about slowly moving in position. I know I could, of course, have made a pylon to get creative flight, but this was the quickest and easiest way. Most of this I've just gone through and worked out a way to do some general texturing, and we are going to add things around this area as we progress. But first and foremost, I just wanted a space available. If you notice anything like this, it's purely because I was placing them down as a way for me to use the exchanging gadget to sort of grab them as an option for building. But I do not need them anymore. Let's just make a mess of my backpack again. So with this there, the only other things I really did was a little bit of end rating. As you can see, I now have full armor. I got these from a wandering trader, but in general, there wasn't much in the way of mod progression that happened. I did make a compact machine here, which if we load in has just been generating some resources like tuff, some lava. Realized that I could make free dragon's breath using the dragon head here, and this was just for some extra moss, which is full now. But I really want to use these machines, and I guess sort of take them. Oh, doesn't that look cool? Hold on, let's make it a little bit more cinematic. I'm really happy with this idea. I didn't really look at it too much with you guys, but as you can see, I've added like tree stumps that are holding up and supporting it. And then of course the trees growing through the top there. I think this turned out really cool. And as you can see from the back, there's still some room for expansion. All I did there was just try and work out where the main section of that goes across. But all in all, pretty cool. And it does mean that if I want to, I can put some elevators in the center and go up and down into hidden rooms inside the tower. And we'll see what happens with the top later. But those compact machines can actually sit in a section like this to have different mods kind of in their own separate realm, but in our main base. I have this for maybe some different portals, maybe to get to the mining dimension. There's one down here. I don't know, we'll see. And this section here, I kind of anticipate either above or below, or maybe even hanging from the ceiling, my AE2 stuff. Because I've seen some people build pretty big, I suppose you'd call them multi-blocks. Can I open the guide and see things? Yeah. Whoa, there is a lot to go through. I could read this like a book. But I have seen images of these big multi-blocks that are used for all the processing and bits and pieces. So maybe that could be a cool piece of tech to hang above this area. But we could quite easily have elevators put down in here. So we know this is like up or down to a particular type of infrastructure, and vice versa over this side. Separate rooms on either side of the tower. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Now, if we look at these compact machines, in JEI there's only the Colossal, but if you actually click on it for the recipe, there's a bunch of different sizes, also different options for them. Now, for the most part, the tiny, the large, the small, I don't think they're really worth it. The Colossal was easy enough, it was a netherite ingot, but what I really would like is these, oh man, I'm going to butcher this, Sorin? Whatever that is, that requires a nether star. That machine, where the one up top that we have over here, its internals are 15 by 15, which, if we have a look at the map here, is essentially one chunk. The larger version of the compact machine is 9 chunks. It's 45 by 45 by 45 high, meaning that's a very large room that we can work in. It makes it simple to chunk load it because we build everything within that space, and we can decorate it a little bit, maybe for some productive bees. I kind of like the idea of getting the larger version, which is plenty big enough for building and creating some automation, and turning it into a hive for all my bees. A place to set up all the automation, connect it via the chunk loading and whatever interdimensional stuff we need to use. And then yeah, it'll be a safe little location to do all our bee stuff and generate resources. It should work. And then that way we keep this all fairly clean. It may not be the most efficient use of different mods and such, but I like the idea. It feels really cool to have this and just kind of walk through and go, we're going to teleport into our B dimension or our mechanism box. You know what I mean? Either way, that's looking a little bit far ahead. And right now, I'm just happy to have this space semi-complete and ready for me to move in. Speaking of which, we're going to take you. Oh, it's so cool. I'm going to add more detail as I go and more of the hanging vines and anything that I find, maybe some mushrooms and stuff off of here. As we play, we'll be able to take it a little bit beyond just simple blocks. But as a space, I really like how it's turned out. So if we take this, line ourselves up with the center and just go like this. Now this is home. I do just want to quickly go, for example, let's go to the end gateway and then back home. I'm sure it depends on which direction I'm facing, but that is decent enough. Let's try it facing another way. If I'm facing back this way, no, it always points me that way. Cool. I don't mind that. I come out, I turn right, and we're home. Nice. I think I've been quite successful. We have space to grow, somewhere nice to look at, and now we can get started on the next chapters. All right. For this next stage of our journey, we need a few things. We need to turn these mob swabs into chicken feed. Thankfully with this, I can put in a few of my levels of experience, and I should be able to hopefully take out some experience in a bucket like that. Perfect. Oh, so convenient. From there, we use this, and we use this, and we have witch DNA and cave creeper DNA. Nice. Very nice. Now I just need to find some victims. Chickens. Chickens. Ooh. Perfect. You hungry little birdie? Oops. Sorry. Well, look. It's more sorry now. Oh boy. It's the most random thing. And how about you?
Happy birthday, Taco!
Yeah, okay. So, a witch spawn egg and a cave creeper spawn egg. You love to see it. That's perfect. Also, I kind of want to see, if I fly from over here, what this looks like. Very cool. Very cool. Are you kidding me? Oh, I love it. The darkness has really come through how I wanted it to, and I do love the nature side of things. My idea of growing trees to hold up the stone rather than metal structures or using the actual stone as pillars, like strong old growth trees. They're a little magically enhanced, I suppose you'd say. Very fun. But with these eggs, we're about to be able to start generating a lot of very important resources. We just need to gather a few more things. Now, for a little while, my home is still going to be up here because I am not ready to start moving all of this storage anytime soon. But over time, we are going to be able to take this stuff and more permanently house it down there. For now, though, I'm just going to grab some of these. I don't think I really have anything that is... Ooh, that's good to know. I have a monster spawner that doesn't actually have anything in it. That will be handy if I want to just use one for decoration. We'll keep that there. But I don't know if I have any that are different spawning parameters than the standard, which seems to be all locked at much the same. So I'm just going to grab these zombie spawners. Will be fine. I'm not sure how many I need just yet, but there's a couple more things that I want to gather to get some eggs from. First and foremost, let's head back over here. A friend of mine, Princess Lissy, as well as a couple of other people from the comment section, did mention that these guys that I was trying to avoid fighting, oh, gotcha, can drop these Citadel Keepers. Let's see if we can actually get an example of it. Oh, they still hit hard. Luckily, I have a little bit more armor this time. Ooh, hehehe, you tried. Come on, just one or two more. They drop this Cinder Essence for one. Maybe I can get a better example. Ow, there we go. Some netherite scrap. I'm going to avoid them so that I don't break my shoes. But they actually drop netherite scrap. So we just basically automated our netherite, at least early game. And now the second one might require a little bit of exploration. To the oceans. So for this one, I'm going to put on my hitboxes and see if I can find some things around. What are you? Vengeance Spirit. Huh. I must have killed something over here. We're going to have a little bit of a float around and see what we find. Because I'm going to be getting into productive bees. Productive. And from the little research that I've done so far, one of the very, very important things, if we want to have some of the best generation of stuff possible, is this Omega upgrade. It increases the production of outputs of bees by 260%, multiple upgrades can be installed for greater increases, it also functions as a simulator upgrade and a block upgrade. So it kind of takes the place of a block upgrade, which changes the produced output to blocks instead of honeycombs, which is good, I believe, and a simulator, which means that they no longer physically have to exit the hive. But if we have a look at the productivity omega upgrade, it requires heart of the sea. And heart of the sea, well, can be made and automated with diamond essence, prismarine essence, squid essence. So 3 separate manufactured items from mystical agriculture, and nautilus shells, which also require fish essence. Yeah, that's not very productive. Now I could make a prismarine bee that makes them, or I could try and find myself a little creature in the oceans. Let's see if we can find one. This may take a while. Yes. Oh my goodness, yes. That took a lot longer than I thought it would. Here they are. Seahorses. Now, I'm going to leave these guys alone. But with seahorse DNA, from my understanding, they drop hearts of the sea. That is their drop. If I can automate that with a single creature, yeah, we're doing all right. I know it's not. Ooh. Whoa. Okay, that's different. It's like the spiky version of my biome. Well, okay then. Very interesting. Now that only took me about 20 minutes to find. I did search for some warm oceans, lukewarm oceans, but I do believe it spawns in most ocean types except for the cold ones. They spawn in groups, like you saw. So if you are looking after this, well, first let's see if it works. But if it does work and you're looking for one yourself, that was how I found it. So with this, I'll have the cave creeper, which if we have a look at it, cave creeper, I don't know if I can see what it drops. I think in the past you were able to, but I know from experience that the cave creeper will drop diamonds, emeralds, raw gold, raw iron, and stone. We can set it up to automatically smelt the iron and gold, and we all of a sudden have free iron, gold, diamond, and emeralds. Amazing. The witch will drop redstone, sticks, and of course, empty glass bottles. The glass bottles will likely be very helpful when it comes to working with the bees. The Citadel Keeper here will get us the netherite, which obviously takes care of the vanilla stuff. And then these seahorses will get us just a rare drop that is hard to get, which is the heart of the sea. Wonderful. We'll add more later. There will be other things that I want to farm, but these are the ones that I want to get started with, especially if we're going to use this to transition into more robust forms of generation of resources. You know, these kinds. The bees. Lots of bees. If we have a look at the productive bee line, there are a lot of resources here that are very nice to generate, all the way up to these rare ones. Of course, this doesn't show everything either, but we'll get to that later. Basic storage. Oh, a fluid drawer. I'll take a spruce one. For now, let's just stick to getting these set up.
Happy birthday, Taco! Happy birthday, Taco!
So, some things that are required for this mob farm to work, I do have a few of. As you can see over here, I have selected the ones that are kind of relevant. But if we go into here and press U, stuff like the spawn count, so the amount of entities spawned, silence so it doesn't make a bunch of noise, redstone control, turning off AI, lowering the spawn delay, maximizing the amount of entities allowed, more spawn delay stuff, ignoring players, which is very helpful, ignoring light, ignoring conditions, and even echoing. The echoing might take a little bit to get fully set up, but things like this conduit, well, that's where it'll be nice to have at least the ability to make the heart of the sea. I still might need to do some work to make that completely usable. So the ignoring conditions part might be a little difficult. Although, with 4 spawners to start off with, shouldn't be that hard to get at least 4 of those. But with a bunch of these things, I should be able to start setting these up. Now, Let's see if this being put down near my torch stops it from generating zombies. For now it does. That will be interesting. Maybe the ignores conditions stops it from being paused because of that. Anyway, if we have a look at this, by holding control, we can see that the minimum spawn delay and maximum spawn delay are 200 and 800, which isn't super fast. Now, if I right click this, it starts to lower it down a little bit. I only have so much sugar. Hold on. I have a singular piece of snad growing some up here. Oh, do I have more? I have 5 more. Okay, perfect. So, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. Decrease the minimum spawn delay of a spawner to 20. That means, at minimum, every 20 ticks, I believe, it might be in-game ticks, which I believe 1 second is 20 in-game ticks, means that every second it will attempt to make a spawn. Now, the maximum spawn delay is 800, so the range is currently between 1 second and whatever 800 divided by 20 is, a lot. So we use these clocks and we start to drop those down by a second each time. Now, I crafted up 64 because I knew that we were going to use a few of them. So if I just start to spam the right click, we can get that down to 20 as well, meaning that every second this will spawn. Fantastic. There's still a few things though. Spawn count, max entities, and all of the rest. Now the spawn range I do not want to increase. As we go through and, for example, use a nether star to ignore players, it does not need a nearby player to spawn. That means it will constantly spawn if it is loaded, and that's why we want redstone control to turn it off if need be. But with ignoring players, a spawn range of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks is more than enough. If I did more, I'd need to make a bigger room or spawning area, and keeping it sort of contained helps quite a lot. The activation range will be removed once we add a nether star to it, so really it is the spawn count and max entities that are also on the list. Now the spawn count requires quite a few of these fermented spider eyes, so we're going to have to do a little bit of farming. Sugar and mushrooms we can gather, but the spider eyes, yeah, we need to kill some spiders. And the entities, I thankfully have a few ghast tears. So if we go over here, we're going to crank that up to 32. Yeah, creating a horde. Realistically, as far as the spawning potential of this, I nearly have this good. Just need some of these fermented spider eyes, and we can make that ready to produce a lot of stuff. Now, this chorus fruit means that there will not be any AI. Fantastic, in case we accidentally spawn something and we don't want it to attack. That means that when they spawn out of this spawner, they are going to stand dead still and not move. They no longer function as creatures. That's perfect for us to just move them around into a kill chamber. And the last thing is obviously these echo shards, but I'm going to hold off on those for a second. I probably need to go take on a warden. I probably need to take myself a hostile neural network little data pad with me and start to generate some hostile neural network. That is a mouthful. Generate some loot via one of those. I'm going to do the same thing with the wither. Realistically though, I can just take on 4 withers within a little chamber to get what I need for these 4 spawners. And if it came down to it, the maximum value of this echoing is 3, and so 3 per spawner. I'm currently working on 4. I actually only need to double my echo shards. I could probably nearly do that just going and finding another ancient city. So I think with that partially explained, all that is left for me to do is really go through the grind of gathering up the fermented spider eyes, to up the spawn count, grabbing some wool, which is super easy just to make them silent, setting up the redstone control, and essentially picking a spot, creating a room, and getting it ready for spawning a bunch of these 4 separate mobs. That's just going to take a lot of time, a lot of grinding. And I think the best thing about having a YouTube series or a video like this is you don't have to stick around for that. So let's see what I can get set up. Let's see if I can set these 4 spawners up so that they are perfect and allow me to get the drops as efficiently as possible. And we'll have some storage, a little chamber set up using the mob spawning utilities. or the mob grinding utilities, things like this mob masher. You can see over here, I actually have all of the things selected from a little while ago. I just need to make a bunch of these upgrades, a bunch of these looting upgrades as well. Make a fan. Yeah, you know the drill. You might see a little clip of me fighting my first wither, if that's important to you. But I'm just going to set that up using the tinted glass from mob grinding utilities, and that stops them from being able to get through. Once we have that, we'll be able to see how efficient we can gather these materials and maybe start working on the initial setups for our bees. I really do want to get a lot of things done in this episode and prepare myself for shooting forward into the mod pack. Oh, and before I make this, there is one last thing I want to try and do. In Apotheosis now, if I hold Shift T, no, Control T, yes, there is a new thing happening here. Welcome to the tutorial for Apothic World Tiers. In this tutorial, you'll be learning a new world tier system and how to progress through it. Click next to continue or skip tutorial. I want to know about this. I don't know about this yet. So, there are world tiers. These are the progression system for Apotheosis. Unlocking and activating new world tiers will raise the difficulty of the game, that's fine, but also increase the quality of loot that you find in the world. Hover over the world tier icons to see the unlock requirements. So, Haven is where we are at now. It doesn't really say. Click on it to focus. We'll have a look at that in a second. The name is up there, of course, a short description, the start of our journey, and the difficulty over here. At World Tier Frontier and above, Apothic invaders will begin to spawn into your world, which is what we had in ATM10, so that's interesting. That's why we're not getting them so far. We can get more info over here, including the buffs and debuffs for both players and mobs, and the drop chance of rarity and gem purity, etc. And we can activate. This button allows you to activate the selected world tier if it is not already active. Clicking done will automatically activate World Tier Haven. Cool. So, if we have a look at the details of the next tier, Frontier, it doesn't actually say what is required, but in the next tier, it will upgrade our luck and our experience gained. Very nice, but monsters will get an extra 4 armor, so a little bit tankier. The rarities, obviously uncommon becomes more common. Let's have a look at this first one here. Yeah, common is the most common, and it's impossible to get epic and mythic. And the purities are also only the original sort of simple ones. If we go up to this one, we get way more luck, way more likely to get rare or flawed stuff, the mid tier, and it does up their stuff quite a bit. And it looks like I'm there. So I've been playing away and have actually reached this point. I can activate that straight away. To get to the summit, we need to equip a rare chestplate and slay the wither. Huh. See, good thing I checked this out now, just as I was talking about taking on the wither for the first time. Perfect. And all I need to do is find a rare chestplate. I must have, in my travels, found some rare gear from Apotheosis. Maybe even that one counts. I'm not sure. That one's just a grey tier, but looks like we're not far from that. And this one requires epic of most of those things. We already slayed the dragon. So it's a very good idea to go through these. Even though it raises the difficulty of the mobs, it really does up our luck and makes it far more likely that we get better gear. Cool. That was absolutely worth checking out. And if you didn't know about it and were playing through all the mods 10, yeah, thank you, Spoopy. One of my community members pointed that out. Very much worth it. Okay, I'm going to get to making this farm, setting it all up, and then we'll walk through how I've done it and how it works once we're done. Wish me luck. See you in a sec. Okay, I've been doing some work and we now have ourselves a room, a mob room, or a future one. As you can see, this is all up and running now, and I have just been letting it run and generate resources, at least one kind, while I work on it. I wanted to create an area that sort of allowed me to set up these things here, one of which I did grab a wither data model, and it started making some. Ooh, from one stack of 64, it made 7 wither predictions. That means an extra 7 nether stars. That's nice. But that is not ready to be fully automated just yet. Eventually, we'll be able to have a heap of them in these different walls. Over here, yeah, I think that should be just about enough. We have, hold on, 35,000 Hearts of the Sea. And honestly, I think that's about enough. I'm going to turn that off so that we can show you this setup a little bit better. Now, I've sort of enclosed this inside of a compact machine, but I made the Sorin. Man, that's never going to come out right. I made this version, and this version is obviously quite large. In fact, yeah, it's very large. And I think what I'm going to do is enclose this bottom section and use this whole top section up here for my productive bees. That way, if we look at claim chunks, I can have these 9 chunks in here permanently loaded, and this will generate a lot of resources for us. So I've used the redstone links from Create to link up these 4 spawners with different redstone inputs. The one on the left there, if we just turn it on, are those ancient night things. And, oh, let me turn this off. There we go. They are generating a decent amount of netherite scrap. Yeah, it goes up decently fast. On top of that, I have made an experience holder from Just Dire Things, and that is a great mod. We are probably going to grab some more things from that soon. So that one there is working. This one with the diamond is our cave creepers, and that is generating diamonds, emeralds, and usually doesn't make the ingots, but I have something behind here I'll show you in a second that is sorting that out for me. On top of that, it is also making a lot of gunpowder and a lot of stone. And I have void upgrades in all of these things so that if it does run too long, we don't end up with a clog system. And of course, we have the witches. And the witches generate so much redstone. Look at that number just jumping up by about 100 each second. So, yeah, 360,000 an hour, I guess, is probably not a bad estimate. I don't think I'm going to have to worry about redstone for a while. On top of that, if we are working with the bees up here and we need access to some glass bottles, we've got that sorted too. Sticks, because why not? You know, all of that stuff. Now, I am saving these just in case I want to use them, but for the most part, yeah, it's fine. And of course, spider eyes are handy to have too. Now, you may notice that I have got some copper in here, and I also put some of those nautilus shells in there because one of the things that I needed to make for turning these into perfect spawners was using the heart of the sea and nautilus shells to make a conduit. And I started off by gathering the nautilus shells by going and finding different drowned out in the ocean and realized this is silly. I am making spawners. So I made myself an egg and just generated enough to make what I needed. But now that I have 35,000 Heart of the Sea, I think I might switch back to those to get the copper. Building up a big supply of copper without having to do anything and just using the drowned seems like a good idea. So let me just go get that sorted.
Happy birthday, Taco!
Okay, before I do this, I'm going to turn these fans off because I have definitely died at least 3 times, maybe 4, working on this by accidentally forgetting to turn those fans off. Let me in. And being pushed directly into this mob masher that has sharpness 10. I died very quickly. But with this, we're going to go over to the seahorse spawner and just turn it into a drowned one. If we hold control, you can see silent, no AI, ignores light, redstone control, all of that jazz. I've also turned the spawn range down to 3, so if it's within the bounds of this. Now that should be enough. I'll turn these back on and it's functional again. Now here's what I did for that iron and gold. I have a bunch of different void setups in here just to make it simple for myself. Some of them are using tags just to get rid of any armors at all. Some of them are using the mod match to get rid of things from Apotheosis and such. And then these ones are matching the items and it just voids the overflow. So I still do have some in here, which is helpful. But if we click on here, I've blacklisted raw gold and raw iron from going directly into this system. Instead, I've whitelisted raw iron and raw gold. So only that goes through this pipe into a netherite furnace. And that's just got some power on it. It smelts it fast enough and sends that into the system. I really need a backdoor into this around the corner. And then it just puts it directly into there. Now, I'm going to leave that as the thing, but if we turn this on, we should see drowned. And I just want to make sure it has everything in the right order, but we should also see, yeah, that's working perfectly. Now, let's just go around here and make sure we're not getting, yes. Okay, this is where I just want to put something like that in there. It's a very rare chance, I think, to get chicken jockey inside of that. And we will go, yeah, we'll put trident in there as well. I don't need those just yet, and if I wanted to get more, it's easy to take that out temporarily. So that is now putting through a bunch of copper, which is nice. And on top of that, we're getting the added benefit of some more Nautilus shells in case I wanted, well, more of these. They can be used for some interesting stuff. Generated galore. They work with a lot of generators apparently. But what I'm more interested in is obviously this copper. Cool. Copper is sorted. Essentially all of the vanilla resources are automated and I can turn them all on at the same time. Everything still seems to be running fine. I don't really experience any lag on my end, even with the shaders and everything, because this is a fairly self-contained area. And of course, we are generating a bunch of resources. If we go over here, you can see the number is slowly going up as it smelts those items. And in fact, let's just jump over here and double check that everything is keeping up. Ooh, fishing rods. That was one I didn't think about. Okay, that should be fine. But as you can see, it's getting rid of the items plenty quick, and this is able to smelt more than quick enough. Perfect. Now, let's talk about the glaring hole or holes in this room. And some of you may already have worked out what I want to put here, because this room, while not for this section, is going to be running a little bit of power to generate resources from these mob grinding utilities. No, that's what that is. What is this called? Hostile neural network. So, for example, this simulation costs 2,560 FE per tick, which is technically more than we are currently generating. And these slots here are about the perfect size, 3x4x4, for the power generators, the power reactors, I should say. And going through and setting all those up should be quite easy in the long run. The thing that will be important, of course, is, let's just open the guide on Spirited here, making stuff like dry ice and uraninite ore, as well as things like coal and redstone, I think, are used in them. We need that automated. Now, the redstone part of things, yeah, that's completely sorted. But that's where generating resources above using the bees might make it easy for us to completely automate and never have to touch the inputs and outputs of these reactors again. Now, I think I might leave this central piece open as access to the backs, but if I can make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 perfectly running nitro generators, that will generate 4 million FE per tick. And I think they look cool. 4 million is a nice mid-game sort of amount. And I know, I could absolutely generate a lot more using something like, what do we have over here? It'll be in here somewhere, I'm sure. The mega reactors or the something reactors or the dibba. extreme reactors. Yeah. We could easily generate more using these, but I just really honestly love power. I love the aesthetics of it. I love the simplicity, I suppose, as well. It just feels, to me, like a power generation mod should. And if I can set it up so that it generates 4 million FE per tick with a nice battery tucked in here somewhere, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be more than fine. So, yeah, this is my mob mashing room, my mob generation room, future early to mid game power, and of course, above here, we're going to generate a heap of resources using bees. I'm very happy with this. This is really, really good. We're getting heaps of resources that are very valuable to me right now. I no longer have to worry about any of this stuff. Yeah, that redstone, crazy. And of course, I have all of the XP in the world. Now, I've already filled my experience tank on my backpack. And what that does is anytime that I use my tools that have mending on them, it automatically mends from that tank. That can store 162 levels, which is a lot. But with this experience holder from Just Die Things, you can see I just grab levels from that down there. And because of the level disparity, each level going up requires more than the last. Just taking levels, I've gone up to like 56 and it's still at 285. Still at 285, it's 61. Yeah. That is the equivalent of a lot of levels. In fact, I can hold shift to take all, right? Or is it control? Yeah, control. So that's 290 levels and you can see how quickly it goes back up. Cool. I automatically go back to 20 levels because this is designed to keep 20 levels in my experience bar. And that just allows me to upgrade any of these things. It's pretty handy. Oh, I didn't realize I had a bundle in there. But the Just Die Things has a few items that I am after. These time crystals, of course, and the time wand are absolutely going to be on my list as we go forward because I want to be able to speed up things where necessary. But the other thing that I really would like is some Eclipse alloy. It was on my radar already, but I actually watched a video by Alfred GG where he went over the different ways you can upgrade one of these Eclipse Paxels to get all sorts of things. Hammering so it mines a big area, instant block break so it's super, super fast. Yeah, they're really nice. And to get that, you use this Eclipse alloy, and to get that, where is it? We want this stuff, which is blocks of netherite on, I think, this shadow pulse goo. Sounds confusing, I'm sure. But if I go back to my home, which is still technically home for now, one of the things that I had to do was actually make myself some of these different items. It's a mess in here, I know. So this Primogel goo, this Blaze Bloom goo, and they were simple enough. You start off by just crafting this, and then you can use that to make the Blaze Bloom with some nether-related items. The Void stuff is simple. We just get some end-related, and then the Shadow Pulse is a little bit more difficult, but I do have some Echo Shards and some Skull Shriekers. Shouldn't be too hard to get. Once I have that, I can of course go through and use, well, all of that netherite scrap that we generated down there to make a bunch of netherite blocks and turn that into the Eclipse alloy ore. That can be used to make me some really nice tools, and they use energy. So the tools combined with my 4 million FE per tick that I'm aiming for down in there should be enough to do a bunch of fun things. I say that because, well, right now I have diamond, but diamond doesn't really cut it in modded. It's nowhere near as impressive as what it is in vanilla. And so I think I want to upgrade from diamond, maybe up into this Eclipse, which can do a bunch of upgrades. If we go through here, there's like all sorts of things like jump boost, step assist, walk speed increase, swim speed increase, etc., etc. It could be a fun armor set to try instead of just going the plain old all the modium route. I, of course, would not mind going all the way up to this unobtainium armor, but we're not there yet. So maybe we try and make ourselves some Just Die Things armor instead. Get ourselves some nice enchants, get some nice armor, and probably unlock our world's pinnacle. Have I not activated that? Ah, perfect. So that we get far more luck, better armor and stuff from Apotheosis. And all of a sudden I'm a little bit tankier than I am just using some random armor that has like decent enchantments. But it's not perfect. It really needs to be upgraded. So to go from a netherite paxel all the way up to this eclipse alloy paxel, eclipse alloy armor in its entirety, and also seeing if we can go through and make these different upgrades for it. Seems like a good idea. So that's probably for next time. I know this one's taken a little while. I've had a lot of other things going on in real life, and it's no longer as easy to just commit to fully making content. But we did make a really nice start to a big base, and I've absolutely increased the amount of resources that I'm gathering. Yeah, this just runs in the background, so we can get quite a bit going. I think next time we're probably going to focus on getting ourselves some armor and some power. Not necessarily in that order. Maybe it's power first and then armor. Because if we're going to be using this Eclipse alloy, we probably want the power to run it once we get it. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But for now though, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you like this little area that I've got going. I decided to make it kind of fun looking, and we're making some progress. We're going to be able to set this up with some modular routers to collect bits and pieces. I've got enough room around the backs to do logistics and stuff, and these corners over here could be used for some proper logistics that I need, and there's heaps of room above for more. Yeah, I'd like to thank the Patreon supporters who are still sticking around. It really does mean so much. I can't believe that you're willing to support me over there, and it means a lot. It does help. It's helped me a couple of times in recent memory. And every little bit of support from you guys there has really made it a lot easier for me to continue to make videos and try to have content coming out. Hello? Absolutely not. So that everyone has something fun to watch. So I really appreciate you Patreon supporters. It means so much. Thank you. To everyone who's watched this far, I hope you enjoyed another long episode. And I'm going to get to work on the next one. Yeah, I'm excited for some power. But until then, I hope you all take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everyone. Whoop!